Hello everyone and welcome back to BBBR Racing. It is so good to be back after a little bank holiday break. I hope you guys had a good time. I sure did. I'm here with Liam. Say hello, Liam.
Hello.
Yeah, I just can't wait to get back into this one. We've all had some changes over the break. I hope you noticed
We both
aero
had
package. Yeah.
fresh trims.
Yeah. I think going into this week, we are at round 4, which it feels like we've been doing this for years this season. The season feels super long, but we're only on round 4, which is the Imola Grand Prix, which should be an exciting one. But I don't know about you, Liam, but I can't quite remember what happened last time out, and I think I could do with a little refresher of what was a cracking race in Australia. The race is on, and it does look like a solid start from pretty much everyone. It's a drag race at the front between the two McLarens currently. Logan getting a good start up into P3. Who's going to come out the fastest McLaren? It looks like Ginett has done it, but he's actually gone a little bit onto the inside there. It's going to give an opportunity for Thomas to go back. That is James, I think, spinning in the background. But right at the front here, the two McLarens are now joined by Logan, who's surely going to try some move up the inside. He doesn't manage to do it, but this is our top 3. Thomas, Ginett, Logan, James, Jesse and Jordan are going to be our front runners for the moment, and we have a classic full lap VSC in
we're about to have a swap over for the lead, so I'm going to stay on board with these two as Matt goes round the outside.
Yeah, he actually manages to grab that there, Ginett, so he takes that place back from before, and this is exactly what we were saying. What can Ginett do if he starts leading the race versus starting at the back? And he wasn't quite leading the race, but he is now. Yeah, definitely so. As we're looking back at the front. Oh, interesting. We thought this would be a feature of this weekend. Australia in this game is a particularly difficult track when it comes to track limits, and Ginett's getting one. But what is James doing? He's trying to move down the inside there. 2 wheels on the grass. That was absolutely insane. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 1 and sector 2. Logan and James here, absolutely side by side, having none of that. Logan, but that's pushed him wide. He's defending a little bit too hard now. And now this corner is a lot quicker than before. Oh, but he swerves to avoid the ghosted car, and actually does a bit of contact there. Hopefully James doesn't have too much damage, but that was some pretty brutal racing there. But it's not over yet, because this is now, as you said in our introduction, a very long straight now coming into the fast left-hander. I don't think it's going to be quite long enough for James, unless he wants to try another very, very risky move around here. Probably going to back off, see if he can get a better exit. Just trying to see if there's any telltale signs of wing damage. It looks like he might have got okay. Speaking of wings, he's going to open his back one, hold it around the outside, lay it on the brakes. Is he going to make it round? Is Logan going to give enough space? Just barely. But has a bit of a wobble, and that is going to mean that Logan is going to get ahead. This is some pretty fierce racing for the final podium position. Trying for a switch back there wasn't going to happen.
Amazing stuff.
It's truly fantastic racing once again. DRS opened. It looks like a lot more pace coming out from the AlphaTauri right now. Surely the Ferrari is going to be helpless to do that, and that is going to be the case, but clearly lost a bit of momentum after that.
Venus gets a little bit of a wiggle on coming out that penultimate corner. I don't think he got the traction coming out the last one. I think Harrison's going to have him going into turn 1.
Yeah, Harrison is going to need to be much later on the brakes as he sweeps round the outside. Plenty of room left from Jordan, but Harrison actually has a bit of a moment and is going to smack into the side of the Alpine. Hopefully no damage there. Honest mistake for sure, but it's not what you want to see. I'm unlucky for Jordan. Hopefully, as I say, no damage, because that was some hard, fair racing, but just pushing it a little bit too far from Harrison.
The crazy thing is he's not losing that much time. He's only losing about a tenth, maybe less than that, a lap to the second place man.
Yeah, I mean, again, if he gets lucky now, it's a really unfortunate place for Jordan to pop out here. And actually, that's totally damaged Jason's chances of defending against Harrison. Jordan totally blocking them off. Jordan now taking to the left-hand side. He says, I've got to be a bit fair here. I blocked you a minute ago, Ferrari. I'm going to block you now, Alfa Romeo. And the Alfa Romeo is going to try and squeeze through. A little bit of contact there nearly from the Ferrari. So late on the brakes to try and make sure that he doesn't lose this position due to this Alfa coming on the outside, but actually gets a little bit of a squeeze, and it's all settled now. Jordan Venus is causing some very, very interesting racing up ahead, but that looked like it could have got pretty spicy for a second there. Just as I say, that huge move from the outside from Jordan, and that is actually going to spin Harrison round. And he's not going to be happy about that. That was very, very close, but Harrison now so much more work to do as we jump back onto Alex right now on the softs. I tell you what, he's got a good chunk of laps to do some damage.
He is ahead of both McLarens.
That is unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable. He's going to be battling Thomas on the way down here, but it's only going to really be one lap that he's going to have to worry about this, because those tyres, maybe they won't be so fresh right now, but they will come into their own in a little bit, and they will have a serious pace advantage above pretty much everyone in front of him right now. James and Logan on 9-lap-old hards, Thomas on 13-lap-old hards in front of him, and then there's Alex on fresh softs with not that much to go. So this could be a pretty serious charge here from Alex. As we see a DNF from Mark Baker, if that causes a safety car. That has brought the safety car out. His teammate has crashed just as he's made the big strategic move of his life and caused the safety car. And he's going to slowly, he's away, I believe. Yeah, he is finally gone. And it does look like it's a pretty clean getaway. James, don't think going to have any real opportunity to go on him. But there's a big incident at the back. Looks like the Haas of Robert Arnold is going to be out of the way. But Alex got a clean restart, luckily. Jordan now, P6. All the cars in front of him with a serious amount of penalties. He could be getting a lot of points to the moment. Bear in mind that Logan and Thomas, I think, and all cars in front of him apart from the front two, I think he will be jumping. So potentially a podium if the race were to end right now. That would be something to behold. As Ashley, I think Tadpole has gone for a move down the inside. He's going to be late on the brakes. Just about keeps it on the tarmac, and now Alex going for a move himself at the inside, going to squeeze him out. There's not much room there, backs out of it smartly. James going off the track, and now Alex going to have to sit back and get dragged into the dirty air unless he can get through at the end of this main straight. It's going to be tight, but now James...
McLaren spin at the end of the last corner. Dory's cut in there, but Thomas Hunter spun.
Oh no, Thomas again, he's absolutely... He's rifled with it at the moment. The McLaren is going to drop right back down into P7. Jordan and Jake, P5 or P6 right now. But he's done enough, I think Alex has, to keep James close enough to secure this win, as they are going to be going around the final few corners. And my mind is just trying to desperately figure out the maths of where everyone is going to come. Fantastic race once again for the third week in a row. James Simmons is going to cross the line in the lead, but that's going to be quickly taken by Alex. The two Ferraris follow after that. Jason taking the points from Logan, but Jordan Venus, he's going to get a podium.
The podium
falls up into P5. That's what you want to see. Oh, my heart for Alpine. Oh, what a fantastic result for those boys, keeping it clean and getting the points from it. That is absolutely unbelievable stuff.
Welcome back, everyone. That was the highlights from last weekend. And if you didn't watch the race, actually it wasn't last weekend, it was 2 weekends ago, which I'm also really sorry about lying to you about at the end of that broadcast. When I said it was going to be next week, it wasn't. We took a 2-week break for the UK bank holiday. We are back. As Will said, we kind of want to kick that momentum back off because we had 3 great rounds and we want to start again. Welcome back from that great race. We saw an Alpine unexpectedly on the podium. However, it didn't look to finish that way once all the scrutineering had gone by afterwards. It looks like Venus did lose his podium place.
Yeah, it's such a shame. He did such a good job on the track, but that incident with Harrison in there was just a little bit, it was too much. He got the penalty. But we love that. I want to see that going forward. I want to see more Alpines up at the front because it was great racing.
They showed great racecraft as well. Like there was absolutely no, holding back. They were there like, we're just going to take this. And we saw that as well. Well, we heard that in the podium interviews with Venus. And he told us a few tricks. They were a little bit obvious, still on the black stuff. But at the end of the day, that's what counts, right? Like, they got on the podium for it. But that incident, that penalty was given from the incident he did have with Harrison in the third sector, in case you were wondering. But
yeah, I mean, that was last week. The dust is all settled. We're on to this week. We're on to Imola, and we've actually finally managed to get it together last minute of the dash to give you a little preview of the track of what the guys are going to be doing. This is something we're doing called the Hotlap Challenge, where anyone in our Discord can submit the fastest laps that they've done, and then the fastest ones will get shown on screen as our kind of introduction to the weekend. So take away, I think Tadpole won this week, so we're going to have a look at that, and then I think after that we'll jump straight into qualifying. So, welcome to a lap of Imola, as shown to us by the lovely Tadpole, who has absolutely smashed the Hotlap leaderboard once again, and he is going to take us down into the Tamburello chicane, just seeing where he's going to break there around the 75 metre mark, cutting nice and tight on both of the curbs on the inside, and then using all of the exit on the exit there as he runs down to the Villeneuve chicane, taking this nice and quick in fifth, a little touchdown into fourth there, just to give the car some turning, and then moving up to Tosa where he comes all the way down to third gear, keeping it quite high actually. A lot of people going a little bit lower than that, but Tapon making sure to keep that speed up, keep that momentum up all the way up the hill into this really difficult double left-hand section, which heads down into Imola-Romagna. This is an absolute masterclass of a corner. I have no idea how to get it, but Tapon looks like he's had absolutely no trouble there, and is now heading up into Alta chicane. No problems there, making sure he's using all of the curve on the inside. That first one in particular, you can gain so much time by just really attacking that curve. But as you can see, he's absolutely mastered that chicane as he heads down into the final two corners, all of the curve on the outside again, tucking in.
And we're back for the action of qualifying now.
Thanks for sticking with us through that. That was that was a little bit of a hat dash at the end there, trying to get that ready in time. But we're here. We're in qualifying. We're actually only got a few minutes to go. Most of the guys have got their laps in. We've got 8 minutes, so we've probably got another couple of runs here. Liam, do you want to give us a little rundown of what it's looking like?
Yes, so we've currently got James Simmons in provisional pole position, and also we've completely missed this. Imola is a sprint race weekend this weekend, so pole position actually is on pole position. We're going to have the times come through, which is going to set the order for our sprint race, our sprint qualifying. I don't know, however you like to call it whatever you want. We're going to call it a sprint race. It is a race. Then whoever makes it in the 100-kilometre dash, whoever makes it first will line up on pole position for the feature race.
Yeah,
so stay tuned.
One of the reasons we missed that was because I entirely forgot that this was a sprint weekend. So I do apologise for that. But yeah, sprint weekend. So Quali has been massive in all of our races so far. In terms of determining how these go up. We often think about Matt Clinton, starting from the back all the time and then having to move his way forward during the races. So I think that with this particular drivers lineup, we could see some really interesting things with the sprint format. So I think all bets are off for this week, definitely, because we just don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the other great thing is, like, a lot of people, we are a racing league, we're finding our feet here, we're driving next to each other. Mistakes do happen when you collide. If it's race ending in your sprint, you've still got that time to make it back on the next race round. So it's always, you can redeem yourself in the feature race if you can't, bring home the bacon in the sprint.
I think the quali is still going to be important for the stats as well. These guys are all about their stats. We've got our lovely Karun Chandbot keeping track of everything, and everyone's going to still want to get this quali. But right now, it's looking like a strong showing from AlphaTauri.
1 and 2.
Yeah, James and Arnie 1 and 2 at the moment, and that is some margin that James has got there. 15-7, I believe. You thought it would be kind of low 16s would be pole.
I did think that. We saw time trial, and I always give a bit of a buffer of like a second. No one is going to reach those times. We spoke earlier, we saw Tadpole's video. In fact, I just want to quickly mention as well, we have this Discord challenge. That Discord challenge is not just for drivers of the league, that is for anyone. So if you want to have, throw your hat into the ring and see what you can do against our drivers, feel free, join, set the Hotlap challenge, set your lap time, and we'll post your video. But yeah, that's what that time we saw there. We usually see times that are a little bit slower in qualifying. 1, because it's optimal track conditions in time trial. 2, because it never goes right on the night. So, you're always going to be a little bit nervous. But it looks like we're seeing the true potential of these AlphaTauris in first and second.
Yeah, definitely. I think quarterback is someone that we've been kind of looking at for a little while to kind of come and perform. Quarterback is Arnie Noben that I've got him, but so it's good to see him up at the front there. But the regular suspects are all there: Logan, Mark, Thomas. Wait and see what those guys do. And again, no Alex again this week. It's a shame. He's teasing us. He's teasing us with this World Championship.
He is teasing us. He did mention at the start of the season that he's got a lot of plans this year. I think he only mentioned it for summer this year, so we should hopefully see him as a regular from next race onwards. I hope so anyway, because he certainly put on a show for us in the last race. And, you know, we don't have that many stats to speak of at the moment in terms of Imola, because it was brand new for the last season. But he did put it on pole. We had a mixed conditions race, qualifying, and it was him and the Aston Martin that were 1-2. And how the fortunes have changed for this season, because we've currently got our leading Aston Martin in 6th and his stand-in 13th.
Yeah, it does. It's funny how much it changes, but that's what happens when you leave, Liam. When you leave, everything crumbles, everything falls apart, and all the other teams, they don't want to turn up. Alex isn't interested if he's not chasing you down every weekend.
Well, he's got to chase 2 or 3 other more impressive drivers, if I'm honest with you, that are much faster than I was. So I honestly don't think it has anything to do with me. Maybe like myself retiring and him taking some time off, we'll see a new victor of the championship come next year.
Well, hopefully, I do hope so. I want more race winners. I want more championship winners. I want new people for everything. But unfortunately, what's not new is Thomas Hunter, 15.5 for pole position right now. That is some lap, considering 4th place is nearly a second back. That's some serious sweat coming out from the McLaren, and with only 3 minutes to go, I guess he's going to be popping in now, chopping those tyres over and getting another one on there. I mean, if any, I feel like it's the same old story here. It's going to be Thomas or James for pole for this sprint race, surely. And then apart from that, I mean, right now it's looking like a 2-horse race.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to keep on board with what drivers are doing something. We're seeing most of them in the pits that aren't, on a lap, on a faster one. So we're going to see what the back of the grid is going to do. But yeah, seeing a McLaren, that'll be a cat amongst the pigeons with the 2 AlphaTauris right behind. But Matt Quinton again, we're not seeing the true potential that he's going to do. I wonder what tyres he's on actually. He's on softs. Actually, the tyres don't matter in qualifying anymore, so I don't know why he's doing anything different. Maybe he's struggling to put a lap together.
Yeah, that would be serious Quinton strats if he decided to put on the mediums in a quali where it doesn't make any difference. But yeah, I guess these are going to be the last few runs for people now as they are coming out. Who's your money on here?
My money is on James Simmons. He's been absolutely flying. He said that his biggest downfall, speaking to the drivers, we get the opportunity to speak to him before the event, but he said for this particular event, his downfall has been corner cutting. So I wonder, so I was mentioning earlier the factors that you might pay into, getting a lap, getting one on the board. I think corner cutting is one of those things. When you're practicing, you can be a little bit more liberal with the curbs. It doesn't matter if you invalidate, but if you want to get a time on the board, you don't want to be cutting any corners.
Yeah, I think that's always my problem. I was corner cutting every year. So many penalties, and that's what we saw last week as well with the Alpine boys managing to get some decent points. But here we go. You can't corner cut now on this last lap. You've only got one attempt really left for everyone to go here. I think I want to see Mark push that a little bit. He's not too far away from these guys in front. I think he's quite far away from the 2 leaders. But apart from that, he's looking pretty close. Logan, I want to see him. He's a second off the pace at the moment. I feel like he's got more than that. And Tom and James, just chill out. You don't need to set them up. Just have a break. Have a break on this one.
Strangely enough, though, we mentioned about how fast Thomas and Tadpole are. They are both sat in 2nd and 3rd in the championship at the moment, with Logan currently leading by 1 point. And that's 3 different constructors as well. One's McLaren, one's a Ferrari, and one's an AlphaTauri. So as I mentioned earlier, last season we saw Mark Baker put into 2nd. Where are we going to see him finish in this qualifying? Was that his out lap?
No, he's going to start his lap now. Everyone's going to be starting their laps now, and we are going to be on board with Mark as he goes through here. He needs to keep it nice and smooth, and it kind of does look like he's managed to do so far. Harrison is going to be DNFing from this session, but now remembering that lap that we saw from Tadpole earlier, looking like it was a little bit neater in Tadpole's hot lap than Mark's was here. Mark down into 2nd gear, heading up into that 3rd. It's looking pretty tidy. We'll see what it looks like when he comes through the sector gate, but for the moment, he only needs to gain a 10th to gain a position at the moment, and if he can get a 10th, that could actually put him up into P4. So coming down into Emilia-Romagna now, how is he going to handle this one? It's looking a little sloppy there. The upshift looked pretty nice, got a good load of traction through, but it's hard to tell if that's going to be enough at this stage. He's 2/10 up on his previous time, so if he can just keep this now to the line, that could see him come up into potentially P4, P3. Logan improving as well into a 16.3. It's going to put him into P4. The top two just too far away for the moment, but we're going to see now. Can Mark keep it neat and tidy? Can he keep it legal? Can he get the power down? Stick far to the right. He's very, very far to the right there, coming across the line. What's it going to be? It looks pretty good. Oh, he doesn't improve. Or if he does, it's very, very marginal. So he's going to be down in P6. P5, Jesse looks secured as well. And Thomas is going to be leading from James in this race, in the quick sprint race that we've got coming up with Arnie, Logan, Mark.
Jesse puts into third place.
Jesse's been in third the whole time. Oh no, he is.
No, he hasn't. He was from fifth.
Yeah. He's just jumped up there, just splitting the two alphas. Still a little bit of a way from the top two, but definitely best of the rest right now. As I'm just checking to see if anyone else is on a lap, but no, I think that's everyone there. So,
what an incredible performance by him, and just as well talking about his struggles. Jesse's an incredible driver. He's got some serious pace. But we've noticed, I don't know if anyone has noticed, that he hasn't been on the podium. He hasn't been up there in the previous races. That hasn't been down to pace. He has been fast. The problem has been that he's actually getting used to turning some of the assists off. He's turning traction control off. And he's just coming to getting used to it. And his teammate Josh, who did that last season, really advised him to make that jump. And we're seeing it pay off right now. So, Will, would you like to go through the order of the qualifying? Not qualifying. Qualifying for the sprint.
It's qualifying. This was qualifying. We watched qualifying. We just watched qualifying, and now there is a race that is going to decide the order for another race. That's how it is. I'm laying down the law. Anyway, I can't. You angered me. All right, you got me upset. I couldn't read it all. All I know is that Thomas is on pole again, which is something that we're seeing week in, week out here. What's your strategy for this? I think you've got to be pretty safe, right?
Just quickly, I think that's the biggest pole and second gap we've had, right? Usually it's been like hundredths, like the tiniest of margins, and now we've seen 2/10, which is a huge assertion of dominance there. The strategy for the sprint, surely people are putting on mediums that are going to go all the way to the end. I can't imagine anyone's going to do anything too different to that.
Safety cars, though.
You're not going to. You track position, man. We went from races that had 3 DRS zones, so overtaking was easy peasy lemon squeezy, and we're going to 1 DRS zone, and DRS is not as powerful as it was in the last game as last year. So yeah, we're gonna see it more difficult to overtake.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out. The lights are turning on at the moment. The lights are off nice and quickly. The race is on. Who's going to get the better start here? Oh, unfortunately, having some technical difficulty with him. Oh, you were good. Thomas is going to get away nicely and keep the lead. Bear with me 1 second. Have to run this one quickly, Liam.
We've got one AlphaTauri off the racetrack. One AlphaTauri on the racetrack behind the Mercedes. Moon made it up into second place from third. And Thomas Hunter in the McLaren is currently leading this race. I was not expecting Will to have issues or the AlphaTauris to have issues. Are you back? Are you okay?
We're figuring it
baby.
I'm like, the lights went out, so did my second monitor, so did my camera. We're all good, but we're back in it. And Thomas is absolutely storming away here from Jesse. I didn't actually manage to catch what's happened there. I'm seeing Arnie in P16 all the way down, and Fanex as well. So they've had an absolute nightmare start to this race. This is exactly what we're saying. All of that work that Arnie has done in qualifying, totally undone on the first corner. And now that puts him right back down into P16.
Yeah, and we saw, it was quite hard. The camera angles that it gave us weren't that illustrative of what actually happened, because I saw so many cars go off the track, but I don't know who made contact with who. It kind of looked like everyone, like Australia, went 3 abreast, and 3 just doesn't go into 1. Sometimes 2 can, but yeah, side by side it wasn't working here. We're currently riding on board with James Simmons as he is right on the gearbox of Moon. I wonder if Moon can keep that position.
Yeah, I think this might be quite tricky for Moon to keep that position. Currently, Moon is obviously Jesse Simmons, James is going to be approaching him rapidly here. I mean, as you say, he's done a very, very good job to actually hold it up there. So maybe he is there on pace. As we see another DNF, unfortunately for Sammy.
The biggest winners and the biggest losers, from that start of that race is we've got Venus, who is up 4 places. We've got Fuvelix, who's in a Red Bull, who is up 3 places, and we have got Pengua, who's up 3 places as well. So there have been big winners, but the biggest loser is Quarterback, who started 3rd and is now down in 15th.
Yeah, it is a real shame for Quarterback, but luckily, in a way, this is only the sprint, so you know he's going to have that full race to make it back, and he's got 9 more laps to go here to try and get something on the way. But Thomas ahead, absolutely storming away. We're riding on board with Logan at the moment, who is approaching this group quite quickly and is going to be in a pretty good position, I think, if these guys start fighting. Logan, previous race winner here, current leader of the championship as well. So he's going to be trying to make everything that he can out of this qualifying race.
BRS has been activated this lap, so that will make it a little bit easier for James to try and get past Moon on this coming lap.
Yeah, we'll have to see how he's going to manage to do that. I think what I'm worried about is James is actually going to fall back into Logan before he gets a chance to really attack Moon. He's going to need to be really careful coming onto that main straight. But if I was Logan, I would just relax. I'd just let these guys fight. This is only the sprint race. No need to get too aggressive right now. See Aqua Minerale again, such a difficult corner to follow through here, and as you see, James is just sucked in behind Moon there. He's going to really suffer, and I wouldn't be surprised if Logan makes some serious time up through the chicane, which he actually does. He's right on the back of these guys now. He's managed to do some serious work through there. It seemed all legal for me, but those guys should be following those lines as we head onto the main straight now. I think we could see our first little bit of chaos here.
Yep, no surprises on who started on what tyre either. I thought maybe someone might gamble and put on the softs, but everyone has gone for the mediums for this sprint race. As we see Tadpole go around the outside of Jesse in the Mercedes. Are we going to see Logan do it too? He's gaining as the first corner. No move this lap.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit too far back there from Logan. Potentially an opportunity, but as you say, just keeping it cool. But James managing to get past Jesse Moon pretty quickly, and now has a 2.7 second gap onto the back of Thomas if he wants to try and make that happen. It's going to be tricky to do that though, but he doesn't have a long time to do it either.
Yep, this game different to other games as well. We saw DRS being powerful in the last game. In this one, it's more ERS. DRS isn't as powerful, so I wonder who will be saving their battery. And last race, I got you to go round, check before. I noticed I can pull up the telemetry here. I can show you what battery every driver is on. Isn't that useful?
Where every week we're coming up with a new little thing to put on the screen, and everyone's like, we don't care. But,
we care though. We care.
I care, and that is very, very useful. Although I will miss having to scroll through every single driver to check and read that tiny little number on their wheel. But speaking of tiny little numbers on their wheel, I'm noticing Logan seems to be pretty good here, but some of the drivers further back really nearly used all their ERS already. I saw a 20% available. As we actually are going to see, is Logan going to be able to do anything here? There was a car by the side of the road there. I think that was Jinnit, potentially Jinnit, out of the race. Which is again a big shame. A lot of casualties so far in this sprint. We're about halfway through now, and we've already had 2 DNFs and a pretty disastrous first lap for a lot of the front runners.
As I said before, they can make it back up in the next race though. So, I swear, this is deja vu. Every time Jinnit is starting from the back, well, it's going to happen again at Imola. I'd much rather be doing that at Jeddah and not Imola, but we're going to see his last to first challenge tonight.
Yeah, and I think also deja vu is, as you were on board with Josh Wilmot currently, he's got Jordan Venus in front of him there, with the widest Alpine anyone's ever made in their life. But Jordan now, I think is, at least for me, has solidified himself as someone with serious pace. I won't be so surprised to see him further up the grid at the moment, but not what Josh wants to see, I'm pretty sure.
No, serious pace and serious racecraft as well. He didn't, we saw him and we had a little joke about him getting in every battle last race, but he wasn't losing the battles. He was in them and winning some of them. So, yeah, great racecraft on the track by him. But talking of Alpines, we've got another Alpine just outside. No, the points cut off at 8th for a sprint, don't they? So in 11th, we see Jake, who has said that he's not done much practice for this race this weekend.
Just at the grid, I've just noticed Logan has managed to get past Moon, so this is back to a usual Thomas James Logan 1, 2, 3. So good to see that for Logan. He's used his time well there, and now is putting himself in a good position to. I would imagine he'll just stay here now. I can't see him catching the leaders, but he's done well to get himself up into third.
Great driving. Sorry, didn't catch the move there. I guess I'd presume that Jesse was being saved by being in the DRS of Tadpole, and as soon as he was out of it, Logan was there like, thank you very much, I'll have that position.
Yeah, definitely. I think someone who will definitely be wanting to make their way up the grid, and I think is doing so now, is Mark Baker in P10. As you say, what would be the cut-off for the points if the normal race was going on, but currently behind Harrison Davis, and he's been kind of creeping up on him slowly, so we'll see if he can make anything happen there.
Also, interestingly, that is Baker going backwards. He started in, I believe, 6th. He was 8th after the first lap, and in the last 2 laps, he's gone down to 9th.
This is to 10th. Serious move from Josh round the outside. Surely not. No, very late on the brakes from Venus there. More of that Venus Ravecraft that we're seeing. He's really slippery to get past.
I wonder if they've gone for a different wing setting. We've now got 50 scales available for the driver. It's no longer confined to just 11, which the Codemasters picked for every single track. We've now got a full 50 slider. I wonder how low Venus went to make sure no one could get past him in the straights. He was always a fiend for doing that in the other races, and we might have seen that in him there today as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's working. It seems to be working for him. So I mean, this is, P7. Last time out, we were talking if they got P6 to P7, that would be great for Alpine, and obviously they managed to do a lot better than that. So I think seeing him hold his own now in the sprint.
It also explained why. Oh, as we see a spin by. Oh, what a save by Josh Wilmot there.
Is that going to leave him vulnerable to Harrison? It does. Harrison is now going to be right on the outside of this corner, but as he already got ahead beforehand, so he doesn't need to worry about covering off that inside. Will need to worry about any sort of slipstream that he now gets, but I imagine those tyres might be a little bit warm. Could be a bit tricky, so bit of a mistake.
Oh no! Only 5% left on his battery. I wonder if he'll make the move. Oh. Yeah,
he's made some sort of move around the outside.
Safety car, I believe. Or is that a VS?
No, this is a full safety with only with 3 laps to go.
What would you do in this position?
I mean, you don't pit unless you're Callum Brown, who is straight into the pits. Probably a good position for him to pit. This is tough one if you're at the front of the grid. I would imagine you're going to lose too many places and there's not enough laps.
Yeah, 100%. We saw. I don't know why. Not all these drivers have race engineers or team principals. We're trying to encourage that. I know Alpine has got Ollie Pack as a team principal, and Ferrari have got Leon. So they sit on the sidelines helping make these decisions. We saw, I believe, in I can't remember what race it was now. We saw Tom Sunter, the current leader of this race, pit under a sprint qualifying, and his race when from an amazing race to not right at the back. He actually did DNF. He couldn't make it to the end from this decision to pit. So yeah, long story short, don't pit under a sprint safety car.
Oh, honestly, my heart watching Logan go through there. I thought he might do it. I thought he might just be the mad lad and go for it. But yeah, are we going to get a lap of racing?
I believe so. I don't know. I've never. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have never finished a F1 game under the safety car. No, so I believe we might have 1 lap of racing. But you know what this does? It does bring James and Thomas right back to each other.
Yeah, I wonder how the ERS. I mean, might be a great time to use that little feature that you've got there, Liam, to have a look, see how these guys are doing. Obviously, they're going to be recharging throughout this race, throughout the safety car period. So. But Thomas, I think, has a lot more than.
I was going to say, yeah, he's been very resourceful there and not used any. He's already on 100%, whereas James is currently making his way back up from 60. That looks like the same story for the first Ferrari. But yeah, Jesse's currently on 100 too. So yeah, being very frugal with their ERS deployment in the opening laps of this sprint race.
Yeah, I mean, This is going to be quite nervy. I'm trying to see if there's anyone. We did have some stops for softs, but it has put them right at the back. Josh Wilmot right down in P11 now with those softs, and he's got Jake Smalls in front of him, and that's the one car that I wouldn't want in front of me as an Alpine if I was trying to do some big brain strat. But we'll have to see how that goes. I think we'll probably keep an eye on the front runners for this one, for the restart, to see
so
if
we're going to have 2 laps of racing. Safety car is in this lap.
Yeah, so I think, I mean, Logan, there's a chance here that Logan could come off very well if these guys kind of get in each other's way a little bit, which I can see happening. But we'll have to stick with it now as we see Thomas just slowing the pad down. When's he going to go? Is it going to be right on the apex? I do believe it is. They are going to be away now, and it does look like Logan got a very, very good getaway there, already tucked right into the back of James Simmons here. This is surely going to be a move on to turn 1. He's squeezing to the inside, then now switches to the outside, which is going to become the inside of the next hand corner. Is he going to be alongside enough? I think he is late on the brakes. Is he going to hold it a little bit of contact there? He actually sends James over the grass. I'm sure that's going to be talked about later, but it was a big lunge there from Logan. Gets the move done, barges his way through, and he is now right on the back of Thomas. Well, actually, he's already got a second gap there throughout the rest of the grid. I think it was pretty clean from what I can see. Not a lot of changes. Importantly, Josh Wilmot actually moving up into P9. So we do see a little bit of incidents at the back there. I think everyone's going off 3 wide towards the back. It's a messy restart. I want to get out of that pack as quickly as I could.
I think what we saw there is it was kind of like too many cars into one corner, and we saw Jesse, must have had a poor restart. Pengoy was up in front of him, which is an incredible restart from him to get up that far. And I think we saw an Alpine go back into the back of Moon, and that kind of just made everyone congested into that hairpin.
This is some aggressive racing going on there. 3-second penalty for Matt Larici for trying to overtake Jesse on the dirt. I mean, rubbing his racing a little bit. Probably not an open wheel. Huge launch jump from Jesse, trying to make the most of this opening lap. But really, really aggressive racing. Now going to have the outside line. Needs to be careful not to tag him on the inside. He is going to get through. Penalties galore. Fierce racing. And now we're 1 lap to go. I think the top guys look pretty safe. We can see... Logan chasing down Thomas Hunter. I mean, he's gaining on him. He's definitely gaining on him. Yeah, we're back down with Josh Wilmot now as well, who is chasing on the back of Venus. Venus in P4. You love to see it, Jordan. Jordan has come alive over the last 2 races. He does have the Josh Wilmot on the softs behind him, who has made an absolutely stunning run from P10, if I've got that right.
P11 actually, P11.
Yeah. In 2 laps, he's all over the back now of Venus, but you don't get past Jordan very easily. Don't care what tyres you've got on. I don't care how much fresher they are. Jordan is going to make this tricky. Let's see if he can hold this position. I do think up the front of the grid, it does look like Thomas is going to be able to hold Logan back. So it should be a 1-2-3 for Thomas, Logan and James. But right now, what we're looking at is Josh Wilmot versus Jordan Venus, Alpine versus Mercedes. Which way is Jordan going to dive? He's going to stick it around the outside, doesn't compromise his line, and now just needs to make sure he plants it on that apex, slows him down a little bit. Oh, a moment from Josh Wilmot. He's actually going to go back, and he crashes into Harrison. Absolute disaster here. Both of them are going to be taking a lot of damage, losing a lot of places. Mark Baker suddenly finds himself up in P5. Jesse does cross the line in P6. Josh Wilmot P7. What chaos at the last there. But your top 3 are Thomas, Logan, James, and then you have Jordan Venus and Mark Baker. What an absolutely chaotic sprint race.
I was not expecting the end of that race to happen as it did. We saw both Alfa Romeos in 2 laps go from the thick end of the midfield to right at the bottom, so unfortunately a poor show from them, but the rest of the field, both Mercedes 6th and 7th, maybe not the strong qualifying start the Moon had, but what a great recovery from the spin that he had 2 laps ago.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a controversial sprint race for sure. Jordan Venus, driver of the day, I fully agree with that. What a sprint race. I mean, there's going to be penalties, there's going to be discussions, but we're just going to have to jump into the race. So that will all have to be talked about later. Interesting front row. Logan is going to be right on the back of Thomas now. Doesn't have to worry about James. Doesn't have to worry about getting past James. Does have to worry about James hunting him down. Venus starting in P4 for the feature race with Mark Baker behind. And I love Mark. He's a great driver, but not one of his strongest tracks, I believe. So that could be a bit of a roadblock for the rest of the field. I think Jordan's in a good spot here.
Interestingly as well, it's not just the positions for qualifying that these guys started in. These are giving out points. So Jordan won some great points. Yeah,
that's a good point, actually. I hadn't really thought of that.
8 points for first. I think it's 7 for second, then 6, and then incrementally 1 down up until 8th position.
Oh, no, it'd be... Why can't I do the math?
5. Yeah, it would be 5.
Yeah. So it'd be 5 points for Jordan. Alpines, we love it. We love the Alpines.
Where did the other Alpine finish?
It was fairly high, I think. I'm not sure. I say that, I don't really remember. We'll find out shortly, as we are seconds away from starting here. I'm a bit nervous about this one. After seeing that sprint, I think this could be a little bit crazy, this one. It's looking a bit grey out there as well. I haven't seen any reports of rain. But yeah, as we head to the grid, I think all eyes on Alpine. This might be their race to make a difference. The 5 lights are on. The lights are off. The race is on. Who's going to get the best start here? It's going to be a tricky one to call. I think Logan does look like he's made a pretty good start there. He's actually got a fantastic start, already gotten ahead of Thomas before we've even got into turn 1, so that's fantastic to see. And Jordan Venus is managing to make his way up into P2. Awful start there from Thomas Hunter, as we see an AlphaTauri go off in the background, hopefully no DNF, but Venus making a move on the opening lap, currently sitting in P2, chasing down the Ferrari, and now James and Thomas are going to be fighting each other. Potentially Jordan, if he can just stick to the back of Logan, he could be on for a fantastic result here.
It was so clean as well. We didn't even see any collisions between any of the drivers at the front. He was past him before they even got to turn 1. I don't know what they put in Jordan's cereal this morning, but it's working well on his race starts. What an incredible drive.
Yeah, I mean, now he's just going to be the biggest roadblock that you've ever seen. As you say, Logan must be loving this. He's going to be driving off into the distance, you would hope, behind the grid. Obviously, Jake Smalls, the other Alpine in P6. I mean, that's a good spot for him to be in. Arnie up into P7 already, so that's great for him. I think some penalties might have come into play there to keep him up the grid. Just trying to look, Mark Baker down into P15.
We did see him spin on the second corner. We don't have replays, unfortunately, but yeah, I believe he did spin. I don't think he got tapped, actually. I think it might have been from his own doing, but we need more information on that.
Yeah, that is such a shame. I mean, yeah, I'm going to try with all of my heart to not just talk about Venus for the rest of this race, because I'm just so happy to see him up there. There's plenty of other drivers doing a fantastic job. I will say very quickly, Thomas Hunter is the only one on the softs at the moment, so not great that he's had a bad start.
Sorry, what I was going to say is I will interrupt if we have too much Venus chat.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll accept that. If I say Venus too many times, you can stop me. But I mean, right now Logan has pulled away, and I think the fact that Jordan's on mediums and Thomas is on softs, I'm impressed with him to keep that gap at the moment. We'll see when DRS comes into play. I'd imagine that Thomas will be able to make quick work of that, but he's doing everything he can for the moment.
You don't want frustration to get the better of you either. It's very easy to start making those mistakes, starting quitting those corners or going wide where you don't need to. So yeah, I think at the moment for go from pole position to third, it's just about keeping your head down.
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the tightest battles on the grid at the moment is Harrison, stuck between the two Mercedes. Oh, actually, as we say that, if we can jump to Harrison, he's actually had a nightmare there. He was stuck between the two Mercedes and is now facing backwards against the wall. That is going to be a serious dent in his race. He was doing really well to keep up with them, but all the way at the back of the grid now, probably with some damage.
When are we going to see Harrison's championship come alive? We had so many drivers, do you remember in the pre-race interviews in our first round, talking about the one to watch being Harrison, and he's not put any results on the board yet, so when is he going to start to?
Yeah, it's just a lot of mistakes. I think a lot of these drivers are still making a lot of mistakes. Probably the nerves, to be honest, the pressure when it comes down to it. But one man who fears no nerves is Venus, who is absolutely holding up Thomas here. This is ridiculous. He's totally ruining Thomas's strategy. James hitting the back of the McLaren behind there. just because he couldn't get through. How is he doing it?
He's pushing him around Aqua Minerale there.
There is actual full pushing, I think, as Sammy is another retirement here. That is going to be I believe that's a VSC. Can't see the safety car on the track, so a little breather now as another retirement there for the Aston Martin driver.
Are we going to see Jordan as the Valtteri Bottas of our league, where nothing will get the better of him? He just keeps his head, keeps his cool, and will just put it into places that we're not expecting to see.
I think I'm not a fan of Valtteri Bottas, so I wouldn't want to say that. I'm joking, I love the guy. But in terms of racecraft, I don't want to see Jordan being a Valtteri. I want him to be a Lewis. I want him to be a Max.
I'm talking Williams Valtteri Bottas, by the way, where he was just so... I remember like 2014-15, he just kept his head at all times.
Yeah,
was that a bit of
that
decent
one
between the drivers there?
Maybe that era of Bottas would be good. Just noticing quickly, Harrison, bad to worse, speeding of the pit lane penalty. That's not going to be happy with that. And also, a lot of these drivers at the back now, something to watch out for is they're going onto the hards. I would assume that they think they can do the whole race on those hards. I
believe so. I actually, speaking to a lot of the drivers before the race, in the practice session that we usually hold, we're getting a lot of really good feedback on the hards. I don't know what the pace is like, but I've heard from several drivers saying that they actually prefer driving on the hards to driving on the mediums. That's
interesting. I think that does often happen for some reason. I do like that reflects in the game because we see that in real life quite a lot. But yeah, good to see that. I will say quickly, James Simmons has speeding under VSC, so he's got a penalty. He's going to dive into the pits now, probably just try and get that penalty out of the way and get the hards on. It's all coming up Logan right now. He's chilling at the front. He's got Jordan behind him and Thomas, who is still on these softs and has still not managed to get past the Alpine. Behind that, you've got the AlphaTauri, who's had a great run to get back up to where he is. And then the Mercedes and the other Alpine. So this top pack, pretty close together, but a lot of penalties coming into play. Could make this quite easy for Logan and Jordan to run away with this.
All for one driver as well. Harrison picking up more penalties as we go. I just wanted to shout out as well, quarterback. I believe he started this race at the back. He's currently in 5th place after 5 laps.
Yeah, absolutely astonishing run from him. And he's someone who I raced against in some of the preseason stuff, and I thought he seemed amazing. Seemed really, really quick, really, really clean. So it's good to see him.
Commentator's curse has begun.
I wasn't watching. Oh, I'm so sorry, quarterback. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I mean, he spins all the time. Yeah, he's obviously going to spin. No, well, that's a shame, but sorry. Apologies.
We won't talk about you anymore, please.
I really like his Logan. I like Logan. Let's talk about Logan. What would happen if Logan was...
Well, talking about Logan, he did spin it and crash last season. He was not a fan of this track in the 2021 cars, but we're currently seeing him leading this race.
I cannot believe... All right, I need a Venus jar, and I put a penny in it every time I speak about it. Because I cannot believe that Thomas, on the softs, with the run that he just got out into the final corner, and DRS, couldn't get past him. That's obscene. He must have some severe wing advantage going on, because that just seemed like he had to get through there.
He's using his battery as well. We're 6 laps into the race and he's gone from 100% to 30.
That's the Venus effect. That's what happens. He sucks all your battery and you still can't get past him. The man's a god.
That blue car, the boys in blue, well, they are causing some trouble today. But I don't know when do those soft tyres, when does their lifespan go to? When are they going to start to slow down? Because, you know, he's only got a handful of laps before that advantage is going to run out and those mediums are going to be faster.
I would have thought that's surely already the case. It's 5 lap old tyres. I would have thought he must now not really have a strong advantage over Jordan. What it is doing is bringing Jason into play now, who's now under a second with that DRS. I'm wondering, is Thomas going to be able to do anything here? It's another good run. It's got the DRS open. Jordan's just going to cover that inside of an automatic. He's not even really covering the inside. He's just driving his own race. And he's just going to get past him. That was a really terrible exit there for the McLaren. Actually going to put the Ferrari all over the back of him. Not really a position where you can overtake her, unfortunately. But That's given Jordan a little bit. He's nearly broken a second barrier. This is madness. Yeah, and I think the Mercedes of Jesse is now patching onto this train, so the Jordan train is in full effect, which, I mean, we love to see it. Logan just slowly pulling that gap away. I like to see this from Logan. Actually, it doesn't look like he's pushing super hard, because I think otherwise that gap would come up a bit more. So hopefully he's just taking it easy and just trying to stay safe and not spin, which is kind of what we've been after. Speaking of spinning, I can see we're on board here with quarterback, who's now got to crawl his way up the back of the bid.
And the secret here for quarterback is actually if we don't talk about him. So let's just watch him and admire what goes on here.
We'll just give you some silent commentary for a second. Everyone, just one sec. There we are. He made it through that section without spinning, and that's what happens when we really focus and we all pay attention.
No, but he has got DRS. He has got the run on the Red Bull, and I believe he'll be past him by the first corner. He is.
Yeah, he's gonna be miles past him actually coming into this corner. That Red Bull looks very, very slow in a straight line because he's absolutely he's steamed through. I'm noticing Jinnit. I'm not sure where Jinnit started, but he seems to have been moving his way up the field. I believe P6. He would have started at the back, no, with the crash out.
He would have. Yep, he would have.
Yeah. So more Jinnit things.
Which he has just had the fastest Sector 1 of the race so far as well.
Yeah, so he's absolutely steaming ahead in that McLaren. He's managed to get past an Alpine. Thomas still unable to get past that Alpine at the front. And Logan just pulling away. So I mean, we're settling into a bit of a groove here, I think. I think it will be who blinks first in terms of, I assume these guys are all going on two-stop strategies. Otherwise, well, I'm not too sure, to be honest, what the strategy is here. Maybe it doesn't look like tyre wear's too bad if people are doing one-stop hard. So maybe. Oh, is this the move though? Finally, with the DRS and the ERS, it does look like. Oh, they're running a little bit there. He's going to squeeze him right to the inside. Jordan knows exactly what he's doing. Is he going to be super late on the brakes here? I think he might be. He's going to hold around the outside. Surely not. Surely not. He holds around the outside. He keeps the Thomas at bay once again. Fantastic racecraft from Jordan there to keep the McLaren behind.
What is that McLaren driver thinking? He's been behind this this Alpine for almost 10 laps now, on the better tyres, well, for the majority of it, and he still can't get past. And this is the man who took pole position in our race, and he just can't get past the boy in blue.
I mean, he's quick. That was some serious defending there from Jordan as well. Really, really late on the brakes, kept it really wide, gave himself enough room. Yeah, fantastic driving. I really hope that he can keep this going to the end. Because as we said, that podium that he got last week was taken away due to an incident. So it would be good for him to come back this week and get one and have it stick. Yeah, I just don't know how this tyre strategy is going to work out though. I think if you were Jordan, would you maybe would match Logan? That's maybe what I would be thinking.
Yeah, I think so. I think what you don't want to do at this point is you don't want to get obsessed with racing one person. That could be your downfall, right? Like if Thomas Hunter ends up ruining his race and he's fixated on his strategy, he could end up finishing much lower than second. But also at the same time, if that is the man that he's racing for that position and he gets passed through an undercut, that's not a good race either. So it's a way up of many things. We've got Ollie Pack, who's currently looking after their boys in blue. I'm sure he's absolutely over the moon with what's going on right now.
He's screaming, defending like a lion, which we love to see. This is I guess the interesting thing to look out for now is that Thomas has come out on those hard tyres, so he's done his stop. He'll be going to the end, I would have thought. So let's see if the undercut can pay off here, or if there's going to be some sort of safety car shenanigans to keep him in play. But Jordan now needs to really just put some solid laps in without pressure, and I think that might be quite tricky for him to do, because I feel like we've got a bit of a hot lapper in Thomas Hunter, and I think with free air he's going to be fine. Was that a spin? Did we see?
That was a spin by Sniper, I believe.
Yeah, Kennedy. Big moment there. He's going to put him back give the other Alpine a bit of space now. So yeah, Ferrari having a bit of a spin. Fanex retiring from the session. Don't want to see any safety cars now, boys. Want to keep it clean.
Apparently it was Ginette that's tagged Sniper there on the way past. Which we have seen many a times before. There's no love lost between those two.
No, definitely. Yeah, I mean, luckily no safety cars at the moment. I can't handle it. I'm getting Jeddah flashbacks for how many safety cars we had to deal with there. And I really want to see just Jordan run away. I'd love to see, as Thomas Hunter, is he going to have a difficult time to get through here? It looks like he's got quite a lot of space. So he should be all right to just get these laps in. Yeah, I think this is all going to come alive in maybe 5 laps or so.
Yeah, he doesn't want to catch them too quickly either, right? Because you then have many cars to try and get past, and this isn't your Jeddah. This isn't the track where you're overtaken on every single lap. So it might be that by the time he gets right onto the back of his fellow rival, James Simmons, that he's in the pits for his first or second stop. In fact, no, he's already taken his first stop, hasn't he? Because he had the issues earlier on in the race.
Yeah, so just also noticing Jesse slowly getting onto the back of Jordan. I just leave it. I wouldn't bother. There's no point. Just stay where you are. Wait for Jordan to do something. You can't get past the man. He's too thick. It's not. He is gaining on him though. And if he does gain on him and they start battling, that could really suffer. That could really give Thomas the advantage if Jordan has to start looking in his mirrors. But I mean, up ahead, Logan is just. He's just steaming ahead. He's fine.
It's his to lose, right? He's got this lead. Because you know the buffer that he had beforehand was Venus because Thompson couldn't get past him. He's got 6 seconds to make up, providing that everything goes smoothly for him. Do you reckon he can do it? Is that McLaren? Is that leading McLaren the one?
Not
to
sure.
watch?
I think he's going to come up onto the back of. Yeah, I mean he's got a big gap there. He's just going to be putting in hot lap after hot lap. I would expect to see him come out in a pretty good position. I'm trying to remember what happened last week in Australia or in a couple of weeks ago. I think Alex stuck really long and came out in a really good position. So it does feel like the overcut is probably the way to go. In which case, that probably wouldn't play out for Thomas here. You'd expect Jordan and Logan to have the advantage. But we don't know. Obviously, new track, new compounds, all that kind of stuff. I guess are these guys going medium soft? They're going to have to be going very long if they're going on to medium soft.
Yes, I believe so. So it was either a 2-stop, which would just be the softs and mediums, but I don't think many people are liking the mediums. So I think they want to go for the 1-stop.
Okay, well that will be interesting to see. But we're just noticing now that Jesse is already on the back of Jordan. Just noticing a lot of dogs in our chat as well. We'd love to see that. Thank you for the emotes. But Jesse now right on the back of Jordan. Let's see. Now we've got a different battle here. We've got 2 medium tyres. They've been on the same, running the same amount of time. No tyre advantage here. No offence to Jesse at all. He's a fantastic driver, but Thomas is one of our top drivers in the league, and he can get past on newer tyres. So surely there's no way that Jesse can get through Jordan right now.
Like I said, it's all about setup. If we're talking about the hot lappers amongst us here, with the tadpoles, with the Hegelfire plays. Sorry, Thomas Hunter. You're going to be running setups that are going to be high on aero. You want ultimate lap time, ultimate pace. Whereas Venus, they're going to be going for race setups, right? They're here to race. They're here to get past people. They're here to keep people behind them. And it might be that they've just set up their car for a better race car to keep people behind them. Which means when you've got the likes of Thomas Hunter, who's running a bit more aero, the drag is just going to be through the roof. They're not going to be able to hit the top speeds that the Alpines are going to hit.
Well, let's see if that is going to be the case. It does look a lot easier for the Mercedes to get alongside the Alpine here. Yeah, made that look very simple. I don't think Jordan's going to be able to be late enough on the brakes to hide that. So there we go. We're going to see Jesse move up into P2, making that look very easy. So I think you must be spot on there with the aero setups. Just not enough straight line for Thomas to go through. But we are seeing these medium runners start to pit now onto the hards. So medium hard strategy still the way. I will probably imagine Jordan is going to run very late and go onto the softs just because Jordan likes to do Jordan things. Logan probably wants to do something soon, I would have thought. He's clearly got the pace to be ahead. I would just want to make sure that you don't lose track position.
Absolutely, and I just want to also commend that we've got a current debut of the podium for Jesse in the season. We yet to see him on the podium. I hope it stays that he can finish in those top 3 positions because he thoroughly deserves it.
Yeah, I think the pace from Jordan and Jesse has been fantastic. Yeah, it's good to see them challenge these guys a ton. But I'm so curious to see how this is gonna come out towards the end once we see everyone make their pit stops. I don't know when that's gonna be.
Talking of pit stops,
here we go.
You've got your favourite man.
My boy, my good time boy, my best friend, my good pal. He's going to be into the pits. He's going to be putting on those hard tyres, and this is going to be where it's important. Is he going to come out ahead of Thomas? It's going to be tight. Thomas is coming down the main stretch now. Oh, I don't think it is going to be that tight, actually. I think Thomas is going to be...
It's a really long pit lane here. Really long.
Yeah, very, very slow. Thomas is going to go through. He has managed to make that pass work. And actually, Jinnit now looks like he might be the one making a charge onto the back of Jordan. He's not going to have enough room to do it here. But now Jordan has the infamous warm-up lap of these tyres in the new game, where these tyres take forever to get any temperature into them, and it's really, really tricky to keep the people behind you. But if there's anyone who's good at that, it is Jordan, and so far managing to do enough. Is Jinnit going to make a dive to the inside now? I think he is, and that is going to be pretty simple. A little bit of contact potentially, but hangs Jordan out to dry. Plenty of room there, and that is what both McLarens passed on Venus, and with the Mercedes of Josh Wilmot just behind him, who is still yet to pit, or no, he pitted early on. Yeah,
we saw this at the end of the sprint race with him on softs. Now they're both on hards. I wonder who's going to come out on top in this battle.
Yeah, I think it could be a tricky one. If I was Logan, I'd probably want to be pitting soon though. It's looking like that undercut worked pretty well. The fact that Jinnit also got in front. So yeah, if I was Logan, if I was Leon, I'd be trying to get him into the pits now. A lot of Venus love in the chat as well. We love to see it. Driver of the day every week for me is Venus.
We are talking about when Logan should pit. In fact, we're talking about the long pit lane. I believe it's slower delta time through the pits, and also really long. I think that there's a first line that comes up in the pits, and you think that's the one you go on. It's not the one. There's one more extra. And I think if Logan has Leon in his call, he's going to be saying, what is that time between me and Thomas? Is he catching up? At the moment, it's almost a tenth every time I look at that delta that's coming down. 30.8, 30.7, 30.6. It is coming down. There is a race still on here. I cannot remember that pit stop delta gap between them. How much? He basically has a threshold. How much is that threshold for him to pit?
Yeah, I mean, he's going to come out on obviously much fresher tyres to be able to fight him, even if he does do that. But I just don't think you want to do it. I think you just get out in front of him. He clearly got pace. But we do see Logan is into the pits now. He is going to be onto those hard tyres. Looked like a slow stop for me. I don't know if that would be the case. It did look quite slow. But it's going to be interesting to see where he comes out. Jesse also going to come into the pits now. So Quivilex, I believe, is going to take the net lead of the race, or the current lead of the race, although he's still yet to pit. And then we have, he's fine. Logan is miles ahead of Thomas. Thomas has managed to jump Jesse by some margin, but Logan, I think the gap was just far too large. And Logan still with a comfortable lead. He's got enough time to wear those tyres in, and then he's going to have the tyre advantage. So feels like Ferrari have absolutely nailed this one.
Remember as well, cold tyres. There's going to be there's that extra gap that you need to cater in for how long they will take to warm up. So that that over 4 second stop that was when they came out of the pits has already come down to 3.7 after the first sector. Yeah,
I feel like that's enough. I feel like he should be okay with that. I feel like that's we'll see. But yeah, I think some of these sections could be really, really slow. I think maybe we'll drop down to a second and a half. But right now, doing enough to keep that net lead. So good stuff from him. Venus, I'm noticing, is gaining on the back of Jesse as well. So that race is definitely not over yet.
Which means... Jesse was in front of Venus before the pit stops happened.
Yes, so he needs to make sure he gets past that. Actually, Jordan looking to the outside. He's going to, again, now look to the inside. Obviously not going to have a move here. He needs to make sure he gets a solid run out of here. A little bit of a wobble on the exit. I'm not sure if he's got a solid run is gaining, not super quickly though. I think he's going to have to wait another lap. Clearly up against someone running a setup with just as minimal downforce as him. So that could be a really interesting battle to watch going forward, especially for what would be the podium position, I believe.
Yes, we have Qualifiers who's currently out of position, so it's a little bit out of sync at the top. He's driving the Red Bull. He started on hards. He wanted to go deep into this race, but yes, when he comes to pit, he will be out. He'll be in the correct position.
So this could be a really good fight for a first podium technically, because obviously Jordan's was taken away. So we've seen how good he is at defending. Let's see how he is on the attack soon. I think this is going to be. It's just going to need to warm those tyres in a little bit. And we'll see how that one plays out. At the front though, that 3.7 second gap, he's keeping it there, so I'd imagine those tyres are nice and warmed in now, and Logan's free to push.
Absolutely, and also just I want to point out this battle between Moon and Venus. Venus was on 10% ERS battery. Moon is currently on 80%, so he's got a lot of battery to use if he needs to defend.
Yeah, it does look like Moon is in a really strong position here to get this first podium. I wonder if there is the outside opportunity. The safety car could massively help Griffiths' race. So he's just pitted onto mediums and is dropping all the way back through the field. We'll have to see how fast those mediums are if that strategy's worked out. But apart from that, it's pretty standard stuff here. I think Jesse is managing to find his rhythm. He's warmed those tyres up and is now slowly pulling away from Jordan, but P4 would be a solid result for him either way. So another fantastic showing for Alpine.
2 P4s on the trot. I think he'd be hoping for a little bit more. He's on that gap, isn't he? Where he just a little bit more pace would get him on the podium easily. But Venus and Jesse Moon know each other really well, so there'll be a lot of congratulatory messages between them.
That's good to see. I'm just noticing as well, Mark up in P6 after a bit of a disaster, but he is on 15 lap old hards. So there's a few of these guys who are on very old hards who had an incident at the start, and they're going to have to pray for a safety car or something. And
of the devil.
Just as you say, I don't know what is going on with me today, but that is a safety car. This is going to be a really interesting one. That's great for Thomas. He's going to jump straight into the pits. A lot of people are here. Jinnet is as well. Logan going to stay on the hards. I think.
They're going to double stack the McLarens. Is there enough of a gap between them? I think there's enough of a gap between them. He is waiting. Oh, but they're ready. He's allowed to go through.
Ooh, slow stop though.
Slow.
Penalty.
Waiting.
I think penalty.
Penalty. Okay.
I don't know if I would have pit there if I was Thomas. He's lost a lot of track position.
8th place. He has come out on the mediums as well, not the softs.
Mediums, but I mean, Logan's on 3 lap old hards. Oh, Mark not pitting as well on 16 lap old hards. I mean, I guess he's just going to end. I don't know if those tyres are feeling pretty comfortable for him.
We've had a completely different turn of order here. We've got Venus down in 10th, Thomas Hunter in 8th. Qualifiers, who said he needed a safety car, has put him up to 7.
Yeah, I mean, that's a fantastic for him. Venus on the softs, 12 laps to go. I mean, it does seem like tyre wear isn't a big issue here. So I think he might be in a good spot there. He's got Arnie in front of him on old hards. Everyone else is on hards immediately. I mean, he's going to need to do an absolutely storming run from the back to get up there. But I really don't know if that was the right call from Thomas Hunter. I think track position there is going to be key. I fully think Logan has enough pace on those hards to withstand what will be 10 laps once we get racing again. And Mark, I think, could be a real cork in the bottle here because he's on very, very old hards and will probably, I assume, just go to the end now. Yeah, fascinating. This is going to be a really, really interesting end to this race. I'm going to predict Logan's going to run away with it, but apart from that, I have no idea. Trying to see if we've got anyone else. So Thomas and Qualifiers, P7 and P8, they're both on pretty much fresh mediums. the guys in front of them are on older hards, so you would expect them to get through there nice and easily. I'm not sure how easy it will be for Thomas to get past Griffiths, depending on the setups. As you say, he's got more of a hot lap sort of setup, so it could be quite tricky there. Jordan wants to watch. Back of the grid, Harrison is... Harrison and Callum have had pretty nothing right home to races that you wouldn't want to write home about. But at the front, I guess Logan now finally going to have a bit of pressure in this race as he's got Jesse and Mark behind him. Oh, a 5-second penalty for collision under safety car with Thomas Hunter. Is Thomas Hunter got any wing damage?
Who was that with Sweden?
That would be with quarterback, I believe. Quarterback and Thomas. So potentially ran into the back of him there under safety car. Hopefully no damage for either of the guys. That'd be a real shame. We've had a lot of safety car incidents in the league, and it's something that we've managed to get rid of on the whole, but it does happen now and then.
Yeah, we also try. We do have race control who's currently on holiday, so if you are watching from wherever you're watching, Mr. Race Director Steve Chapman, hello from us. I hope we're doing a good job. I am waving, but you can't see.
Yeah, so just let everyone know on the grid, by the way, that there's no race directors, so just go mad. Do you want? Obviously, that's not the case. Is the safety car in this lap?
It is in this lap.
Be very close to the safety car here. I would imagine Logan is going to wait to go to the line before he releases. Yeah, crawling up to the line. He's going to leave it right there. I believe he has just gone. And has actually done a really, really good restart there. He's kept Jesse, I think caught Jesse sleeping a little bit there. Jake Smalls looking like the winner of this one at the moment. He's got a good run on the Aston Martin. Going to need to hold it around the outside. I think he's got enough room there. He's going to swing it, try and get around the outside of Mark. What a move to get through up into P3 for Jake Smalls. That's another Alpine in P3. Oh, Mark's lost it. He's spun round. That looks like a massive crash. Could that be another safety car potentially? Because that was a huge crash. It is just a yellow flag in Sector 1 at the moment. I don't think he's actually somehow didn't DNF from that. So he's going to be on his way. Yellow flag has removed. Thomas Hunter, importantly, getting past Quivelex very, very quickly up into P6 as Mark is crawling his way at the back of the grid. Jason Kennedy on the back of this pack as well. So Logan has done what he needed to do. He's got away. He's got a second and a half gap over the Mercedes, and then Jake Smalls on the back of Jesse there, and the normal racing is resumed. But that is 4 DNFs from the session, and Mark's incident, I don't know how that wasn't a DNF.
Did he make contact with someone?
It's quite hard to see. Him and Jake were fighting through the chicane. That was all clean, and then I think when he came around on the next corner, it did look like he just kind of lost it. But it looked like quite a slow skid of a crash. So I think he would have just lost it there.
Is that an Alpine on the podium?
It is, but
it's not in the form of Venus.
It's not the right one. We love to see any Alpines up there. But speaking of Venus, he needs to be moving up the grid a lot quicker than he is right now if he's going to make that soft strategy work. Oh, that is a retirement from Mark. That is unfortunate. Hopefully that doesn't cause a safety car. Oh no, Jake! He's lost it. Big spin from the Alpine. And now suddenly we've got James up into P3. What a disaster for Alpine. He's moved back. Jordan looks like he's going to be really struggling to get through this pack on those softs. Thomas, however, has managed to make that work. He is moving his way up the grid. So looking good for him.
I believe there was contact between the Ferrari and the Alpine there into the hairpin. I think they made a small collision. That just knocked the blue car around.
Oh, that's a shame. Generally on the whole, the contact has been pretty good this season. We love to see it, but now maybe as the weeks are going on, starting to creep into the gameplay. As we see DRS enabled, Thomas Hunter right on the back of Jason Kennedy. And I would assume on those softer tyres, he is going to be able to make some sort of move into turn 1 here, but not DRS, no DRS available just yet.
Did I mention earlier about high aero? That Ferrari was pulling away from the McLaren down the straight, and that was it was in the toe.
Yeah, clearly not working out here. Imola is a track with some high-speed corners where you do want that downforce, but it does have some very, very long straights where that is clearly just not working out for Thomas at the moment. But what might work out, using that downforce to stick it round the outside, left enough room there from Jason, and he's going to get a better run up into this next set of corners, side by side, actually going up through here. Jason now going to have the inside line. Are they going to make it through? Very, very wide from Thomas there, just trying to make sure that there's no contact. Now going to be onto the inside of it. Actually, Morale is going to back out of that one, thinks better of it, and is going to have to go for again. Oh, a slow exit there. I think there was a crash. I think Jason had a bit of a wobble there, and it feels like the McLaren might hit the back of him. Can't see any wing damage from this angle, so maybe he got away with that one, but some close racing there through that section.
Great driving by the Ferrari. He was not letting that McLaren through. He thought there was a drag race up until the hill on the left-hander, and I don't know if... I think he was quite sparing with his room, really. He was quite nice, was our sniper, and the McLaren...
He's round. That's another car round. Big spin there for Arnie. He's going to send him to the back. Lots of spins happening, but also Thomas now making a solid move, actually managing to find that arrow, maybe did some tweaks, maybe knocked off some of the front wing on the back of the Ferrari and kind of forced himself into a lower downforce setup because he got through very, very quickly. There's another spin behind for Josh Wilmot, putting him back. This next stint, clearly people not... the nerves are really hitting everyone in this next stint.
I think that letterbox opening on the back of the McLaren helped him on that one. DRS was what he needed to get past the car in front of him.
So now he's going to be chasing onto the back of James Simmons. So nearly, if Jesse wasn't in P2 right now, this would be normal service with the top three. Insert the Harry Potter meme as you will. But unfortunately, but very fortunately for Jesse, he's managed to get himself into P2. He's got a very, very quick AlphaTauri behind him. And then behind that, a very, very quick McLaren on softer tyres. So I would not want to be Jesse right now. This is going to be a very, very stressful end to this race.
I think only 10 laps ago, James Simmons was only into the top 10 by a little bit. It was not working out for him, and that safety car has turned his race around.
Absolutely, and I will say, I think I've been quite good, Liam. I don't think I've been talking about it too much. But Jordan Venus is actually up into P5. And he's chasing down Thomas Hunter. So this is a fantastic result for him. Those softs have worked out. Hopefully he can keep them to the end of the race and get another solid result here. But meanwhile at the front, it's looking a little bit close here for James and Jesse. Well, there's lots of overtaking going on in the mid-pack at the moment. I think Jake Smalls maybe having a bit of a scrap here with Jinnit. Jinnit managing to get through and is gonna sail his way through with the tyre advantage that he has. This Jinnit must be getting very bored of this now, every weekend having to turn up and make up a billion places for some reason or another, but he is making it work. He's going to be chasing up a much slower Jason Kennedy on 11 lap old hards ahead, so I would have thought he'll be able to bring that gap down. So we'll be keeping an eye on that.
We are running Rob's bots, which I say Rob, no one knows Rob. He's a lovely man behind the scenes who collects stats for us from all of our drivers. I genuinely think Jinnit just comes every weekend to try and do the positions gained to get that one up as much as possible. Because his stat must be through the roof.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we jump to the front quickly on James, I think he might have a run now on Jesse. DRS is going to be open. Let's see who's got the lower downforce. It does look like James is going to be able to make this through quite easily. Very early on, actually. No problems there at all. So now he's going to be chasing down Logan. So nice clean move there. Jesse is going to be clinging onto this podium with every part of his being, but I do feel like Thomas Hunter now coming on the back with those soft, fresh mediums might be able to gun him down and ruin what has been a fantastic podium charge for Jesse.
Interestingly as well, we've not seen Logan come to one challenge since the start of this race, since that run down into turn one. And we're about to see it now. In this lap alone, he's taken out 3/10, 4 to 5. The gap is coming down by the meter. Will we see a battle for the lead happen?
I hope so. I think Logan has done a fantastic job this race of just keeping it under control, keeping it in a straight line, keeping it on the tarmac as we learned last week from Jordan. But it would be good to see him have to do a little bit of racecraft here, just to see if he can hold it. But I don't know. I don't see it though. I don't think they're going to catch him. He's got too much pace this weekend.
Do you remember though the juicy battle happened? Oh no!
Jesse! Oh no! Absolutely no! Oh, what a shame. Oh, such a good performance from Jesse, and just seeing the spin, and those hard tyres are going to be molten on the top now, and he is going to fall back through the order. And normal service has resumed in BBB Racing. We have Logan and James and Thomas, our top three. Beat us on those softs, but he is quite far back. I think it would be some sort of miracle for him to get up into the top three now. But what a nightmare for Jesse with so few laps to go, making a mistake like that. He's got to be kicking himself.
What I was going to say before that happened was, do you remember the juicy battle that we had in Australia between Tadpole and Logan? Do you think we'll see some of that kind of racing today?
I just think Logan's too fast here. I just don't see it. I think he's in a groove right now. The fact that he hasn't had any sort of incident, he hasn't had any sort of like wobble, he's in it. He's in the mode. I don't think James is going to catch up to him. I don't think he's going to have any challenge. And actually, what's really happening right now is that Tadpole is actually catching James more than James is catching Logan. So he's going to have to be on the defensive now.
Thomas Hunter, I believe, catching Tadpole.
Yeah, absolutely. Under that second now, so the DRS will be open. James Simmons is another one of these drivers who runs a lot of Hotlap setups. So I would have thought the aero would be pretty similar between these guys. So we'd look to see Thomas Hunter try and get past here pretty quickly. And this is just going to give Logan the opportunity to keep his head down and stay ahead.
Fastest lap just claimed as well by Thomas Hunter. Those points matter. There's currently 1 point gap in between Logan and Thomas Hunter in this championship. So that could close it coming towards the end of this championship. Yeah,
definitely. I will eat my words when I was saying that maybe that strategy wasn't the best for Thomas to swap into the mediums. It looks like it's paying off in absolute dividends right now. Not only is he setting the fastest lap, but he's actually on the back, and that could be absolutely crucial. 3-second penalty going the way of Logan in the lead. Penalties usually quite a big feature of this track, but the two guys behind him have managed to keep it clean, and that is going to relieve so much pressure for both of these guys as they are both within that 3-second gap. Logan currently sitting P3 after this incredible race.
Did you see the way that McLaren straddled those curbs as well? It was all over them, whereas I think I said earlier that Tadpole was being really, really, really cautious around them. He didn't want any corner cutting penalties. No one told that to Thomas Hunter. He was going straight over them. There was like a straight line.
Yeah, well, speaking of straight line, that is what Thomas has got in buckets over James right now. He is absolutely steaming past there, and you've got to feel like he's going to be on the back of Logan pretty soon, who has that 3-second penalty. So this suddenly in the last, this has all fallen away from Logan, and this is looking like a pretty solid win for Thomas Hunter.
The difference those 3-second that 3-second penalty could make, you know, we've seen Logan, who has just been so dominant in this race, and all of a sudden he's going from first to third. Yeah,
that's an absolute nightmare. And in a championship like this, as we see Jinnit retiring from the session in the pit lane, so hopefully shouldn't cause any kind of safety car issue, because that would absolutely ruin Logan's race right now if he had a last minute safety car. We've only got 2 laps to go, so I don't think that will be the case. But Thomas, he's gaining down on him. He really needs to pull away now, Logan, if he can, but he's on 13 lap old hards. Oh, what a nightmare. What a disaster for Logan to get that penalty.
Thomas Hunter would also come away as championship leader from this race with a 6-point lead over Logan if the results would stay. Sorry, more than 6 points. But he'd come away as championship leader from this race.
Yeah, I think that is looking like the most likely scenario right now. I'm sure all that Logan can do in this position is really just hope that Thomas and James get corner cutting penalties of their own. That's really the only way that he can come out of this still on top, which is such a shame because he's done such a solid performance here. But the rules, you know, the corner cuts are corner cuts, and the penalties will add up. He's done well to only get 1, to be honest. But that 1 looks like it's probably the most disastrous 3-second penalty that you could imagine right now. But anyway, we've still got 2 laps to go. Still all could change. Venus, I'm noticing, is under attack from Jason and Jesse, which would be a real shame for him as well. But we know how that usually goes. We know the wall that is Jordan Venus. So we'll see if he's manages to keep those guys behind. But I think it's probably worth sticking with these guys at the front, as James is now right on the back of Thomas, who is now right on the back of Logan. We have a really tight 3-way battle for the lead going on. I like it moments like this. I like to just kind of forget about the penalties in my head. Just
absolutely, you know. It's what you do on the track that matters, right? That's what they're going to come away with. But interestingly as well, I think Leon's playing F1 Manager on his stream. He's currently telling Logan, he's giving him an order to push. He wants him to push to the end.
To jump in quickly, Thomas now is going to be making this move on Logan at the front of the grid, but noticing that also James Simmons has that DRS open. So I think for Logan, this might almost be more of might be more comforting if he loses it on the track, as it is going to have to be a very late move. Oh, he's lost it! Logan's round! He's spun, he's in the dirt! This could be a disaster. He needs to keep it calm, keep it on the track, because luckily he's got Jordan quite a way back behind him, but he needs to make sure he doesn't get that 3-second gap. So Logan finally seeing a spin. He should be fine. He should be fine from Jordan, who I'm sure will be running as fast as he can up to the top of the grid. But there we see the spin from Logan. Really not actually affecting his race right now. He would be P3 anyway. Hopefully he doesn't feel too bad about that. With that penalty, had sealed his fate. But as we come onto the last lap now, it is going to be Thomas Hunter leading us around the last few corners. James Simmons on the harder tyres or the older tyres is going to have a real struggle to do anything here unless anyone makes some sort of mistake. But Thomas, he's usually due a mistake every now and then, but he's played this race pretty smooth. As he's coming now round into the last section. It does look like it is going to be the win for Thomas Hunter here. A solid win, a great recovery drive, a lovely strategy call to put him onto the mediums. He's going to take the win. James Simmons is going to come in P2, as we would kind of expect from James. Logan, I mean, driver of the day for me, absolutely smashed that. But is only going to be able to pull away with P4. Actually, looking at the back here, it's a three-way drag to the line. Venus is going to come ahead of Jesse. Jason squeezing through to get P4, so that's the 3 and 4 for Ferrari. Fantastic result for them. Jordan gets his P5. That's a solid result. I think that's still a great result for Alpine. 2 Mercedes coming in just behind, and 6 and 7 of Jesse and Josh. Jake Smalls is going to be the other bit of bread on that Alpine sandwich in P8. Arnie Noble in P9, Callum in P10, Quivilex in P11, and then we had 6 DNFs that race. So Imola being a bit of a fierce ground to fight here. We saw it in the sprint race, and it did appear to carry on through to the feature race there, with a lot of incidents, a lot of questionable things happening. But at the end of the day, an absolutely solid race from everyone, but particularly our top 3 drivers, who are managing to once again keep this championship fight alive and provide us with some seriously close racing there. I'll be curious to see now. Obviously, we're gonna get the guys in and have a chat. Real shame for Logan there, but I'm sure he's going to understand that realistically that was about as best as he was going to get with that penalty coming through, and it looked like the strategies had kind of played themselves into a point where he was always going to get away with P3 there. But hopefully he's still proud of that. It was an absolutely solid race. But for Thomas Hunter and James, we love seeing these guys clash once again under a second as they cross the line. And Thomas is going to take the lead of the championship, as you said, by 6 points. But it's still very, very, very tight at the top.
Yes, so the biggest winner is Thomas Hunter, with taking the lead in the sprint race and the feature race. But you go through the order, but just quickly, if I could ask the drivers who finished on the podium to make their way to the ready for interview channel, so we can go through the interviews with you.
Yeah, I think, as we saw there, Thomas, James and Logan are top 3. We're going to be seeing that all the way through, I'm sure. Venus ending up P4.
That's overall. Let me just move that over to...
I see, yeah.
There you go. That's your finishing order.
Fantastic. That's fantastic for Venus to be coming in P4 overall. That's exactly what he wants to kind of see. So yeah, we have our top 3 there, regular podium sitters. We will hopefully be speaking to them soon. Difficult race for everyone involved. I wonder if Logan is going to be up for speaking to us after the end of that race, because that was quite a difficult challenge for him to keep ahead. He did so well, and then to lose it through penalties. You feel like that's got to be quite sore. But he is in the interview room, so good. That's good. We are going to hear from him.
They do say you go from hero to zero in the sport, and it has happened, quite frankly, there. But yeah, shall we start with our third place man?
Yeah, let's get Logan in here. I'm also just saying well done, Cal Brown, for getting your first points. Solid race, absolutely crazy race. And speaking of crazy race, Logan, how are you feeling? I hope you're not feeling too bad about that one, because you drove an absolutely astonishing race there, and it all just came away in the end with that safety car.
That's what it is. Like, I think if I didn't get the penalty, I think I would have been even more upset to lose it in that sort of way on the last lap. So I'm kind of almost glad I got the penalty, because then it's not like I at least lost it on the last lap on track.
100%. I was wondering if that would be the case, because I think with the strategy that they had, with the pace that they had, that safety car kind of ruined your race anyway. So I think, the spin and the penalty made it seem potentially worse than it was.
Yeah, I mean they've been quicker than me the entire day today. Much quicker than me. I was lucky to be in that position in the first place, to be honest. Venus did me a real solid, holding everybody up with the 0-0 wing setup.
Is that what it was?
I don't know if it was 0-0, but it was low. I know that.
No, yeah, he did a great job. Going into the championship now, obviously Hegel taking the lead, but it's good to see it nice and close. What are your thoughts coming up for the next few races? Is it Hegel or Tadpole that is kind of your main rival at this moment?
Oh, it's got to be Hegel, to be honest. I'm going to be missing maybe I think 2 of the next 4 races as well, just with other plans. So
Tell us that.
Yeah.
There's a championship, Logan. There's a championship.
Yeah, I know.
Cool. Thanks so much, Logan. Absolutely solid race. Gutted for you at the end there, but keep it up. And whenever you do race next, let's hope you can get that win.
Thank you.
Next
Cool,
up is
I'm glad to see he wasn't too upset there. I think he was all good. But I think he was right to think that that he kind of lost it before the spin and the penalty. So good to see.
You know Logan better than anyone. Do you think he was dejected there? Did he sound upset?
No, I think he was good. I think that's exactly the way that he needed to be playing that. I think he knew that wasn't on the cards really, and it's good for him to kind of to feel that that it was out of his control. Obviously Tadpole, another solid race for yourself. Another strong race, P2. Tricky race though. Talk us through the ups and downs of that one.
Sprint race. The start was horrible as always. Had a half spin off the line, and then it was just trying to keep up with. I think who was it that overtook me like this in the sprint? Boom, was it? Well, I had to overtake them again, so that was difficult as there's only really one place to overtake, which is using the DRS on the straight. At the end of the sprint, contact with Logan, if you saw that possibly.
Ooh, I don't know if we did see that.
There's contact. I got like a half spin out of it. So and then so then the feature race obviously is so much obviously. Horrible start again, probably the mediums. And then I was talking with Higgle about what happened. Don't really know still. Drive-through penalties was I just thought, all right, get down with it, maybe points.
Yeah, I mean, but you've ended up on the podium there as well. So I mean, yeah, solid drive. Yeah, I forgot. Honestly, the sprint race feels like last week. It was so long ago, but yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare there as well. But good job, I guess, for keeping in with these guys, keeping the championship fight alive. I think you need some bad luck to happen to the other guys now. Although it does sound like Logan's missing a couple of weeks, so hopefully that can play into your hands. But in terms of our race winner, Hegel. Sorry, I know you asked me not to call you that. It's your name has popped up on screen. Thomas, fantastic race. I can't believe you got the win there. That medium strat call was fantastic. I really didn't know if that would pay off for you. But you just had so much pace at the end there. Before we talk about that win, can you give us an insight of what it's like trying to get past Jordan? Because that looked hard.
Venus is the widest Alpine I've ever seen in my life. Oh my lord, no. Huge props to him for that whole. I mean, yeah, I started on the softs, and I'll explain in a second why I struggled to get past him as well. But yes, his defense was incredible.
Yeah, it just looked impossible. I think there was obviously set up things that Liam pointed out that was probably making that difficult.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so frustrating to watch. To be honest, I can't imagine what that was like in the cockpit. But yeah, fantastic race at the end. Kept it cool. And managing to come home with a win. And now you are championship leader going forward. Does that change how you feel into the next few races?
No, just head down, keep going. I took everything I could there. I had a few technical difficulties throughout the race, which is partly why Tadpole got his drive through. So I need to just keep the head down and move on and keep it going as much as possible. So yeah.
And you're going to be going into the next race as championship leader. How does that feel?
It's a good feeling, mate. It's a good feeling. I can't lie. It's definitely. I was after that safety car. I was not in the very championship leader-esque mindset. So it's definitely a confidence boost. Absolutely.
Yeah, well, keep that going forward. Fantastic win. Love to see it. Love to see your how your rivalry with Venus is going to unfold throughout this year. He's just going to keep appearing when you at least want to see him. But no, smashing race, nice one, guys. Yeah, Liam, I think that's it from us. I mean, another cracking race. Do you know where we're at next week?
We are at Miami.
Oh no. What a shame for everyone.
We're going to Miami.
Oh, that is going to be one you definitely want to watch. I think Miami could be quite an interesting one. I don't know how much experience anyone has on Miami. I think when it first came out, we all played it. But yeah, so I catch us for next week in Miami. See if Logan can claim back that championship, or if Tadpole can make a claim on it. It's been a lot of fun as always, Liam. Thank you so much for your co-commentary.
It has been amazing. And I also just wanted to point out as well, we're not lying to you, it is actually next week. And as a new feature, we're going to try and encourage some community nights as part of our community in Discord, where we do some races, get everyone on board, race with some of our drivers, and have like one night championships. We can do it on multiple different games. But we're going to start off with F1 because that's what everyone knows. So yeah, join the Discord, get everyone that you know involved, try and join them. Hopefully the player numbers will fill up really fast, and then we can get you guys on the chat talking to us and involved in the action.
Yeah,
and maybe even
some more
league.
Casual. Yeah, we'll just have some fun, do some races, and chat and hang out, and it'll be good fun. So check in with the Discord for more information on that. Apart from that, I've been Will, it's been Liam. Thank you so much. Catch you next week.
Goodbye.